Alright, much like when we did substitution, we have two special systems, and we're just going to review them by graphing, right? One system is that when you have the same line, right? And let's say I combine these two equations here. Notice our x's are going to cross off and our y's are going to cross off, and I'm going to get 0 equals 0. So once again, when this is true, alright, the resulting equation is true, the system has infinitely many solutions. Just like substitution, that's something you have to commit to memory. Alright? And this guy down here, we're dealing with this system. So it's two parallel lines that never intersect, right? Two parallel lines that do not intersect. Well, what happens when I combine these guys together? Well, if I combined this and negative x, I would get 0. This and negative y would give me 0. And if I combine this and negative 4, I'd get negative 6. Well, 0 does not equal negative 6. So my resulting equation is false, right? And the system has no solution. So that's exactly like the last time, right? That's exactly what we went through. So here's two examples, and we're going to see if we can remember them, right? First thing I'm going to do is I'll multiply this whole thing by negative 1. And because I like adding, right? So we're going to say 4x minus y equals 3. If I multiply this by negative 1, I get negative 4x, right? The whole thing. So opposite of that is plus y equals positive 2. And these guys cancel out, and I get 0 equals 5. This is false. So, no solutions. Okay? So we come here, we do the same thing, right? We combine that, and that's 0 plus combine that 0 equals combine that 0. 0 equals 0, we say true. It's so much quicker. We just got to remember those situations, which means infinite solutions, right? So there we go. Now there is a word problem we're going to go through, or two. Okay, so here we go with our word problem. I've turned the page. If you want to look through that first one, you can. Alright. But we're going to go at this guy, and hopefully it's not going to be too bad. And let's read it. A video game, alright, and a movie rental kiosk charge $2 each for video games rented and $1 for each movie rented. One day last week, a total of 114 video games and movies were rented. So together they were 114 for a total of $177. Alright. So notice the system. So we know that x equals number of, what would we say first? Probably video games. And y equals numbers of movies rented. That's just for our kind of notes over here. So when I take the number of video games and the number of movies, it's 114. When I take the price, right, I get 2 per video and 1 per movie, it's $177. So if we make the y's opposite, so if I multiply the bottom by negative 1, right, with that system, I got x plus y equals 114, and negative 2x minus y equals negative 177. And I add them together. If I add these, I get negative x. My y's cancel out. If I add these, I get negative, what is that, 3, 6. Looks like negative 63 to me, which means x equals 63. Alright. Now we said x for video games. Keep track of which one it is. That gives me 63 video games. So let's plug this 63 back into this. So that would give me, we'll write it, x plus y, all the video games together, 114. If there's 63 video games, well, how many movies were there? We subtract 63 minus 63, then we get y is equal to 51. And we're done. Kind of easy, right? Alright, and they definitely add up to 114, so I think we're okay. So they give us another equation. The perimeter of a rectangular picture frame is 62. The difference of the length of the width is length of the frame and the width is 1. All right. So, or twice the width is 1. So they give us this equation. So I'm going to write it. 2L plus 2W equals 62. And the next one says L minus 2W equals, looks like 1. So let's go ahead and solve. If I add these, I get 3L. The W's cancel out, equals 63. Divide by 3. I should have done a better look at L right there. And we get L is equal to 21. My length is 21. Well, then I'm going to plug the length back into L minus 2W equals 1. 21 minus 2W equals 1. Subtract 21. Negative 2W equals negative 20. Divide by negative 2. W equals 10. So we got a width equals 10 inches. And my length, I wrote that backwards, but there it is, equals 21 inches. There we go. How can you decide whether to add or subtract? I'm going to cross this off because we're going to add. When a linear system has no solutions, what happens when you try to solve the system by adding or subtracting? Well, what happens is you end up with a false statement. And I'll give an example. Example given, e.g., 0 equals 3. When you solve a system by adding or subtracting, and what needs to be true about the variable terms in the equation? They must have opposite coefficients. And we're done. That is everything. So I will see you tomorrow. Talk to you soon.